So on the sheet, you can kind of see that we're doing this in phases as to not overwhelm them or myself. The first thing that I'd heard about bouncy bands before, that's phase one. I don't know if you all have heard of that, but I'd heard of it before in an effort to try to find ways for our hyperactive children. I feel like there's more and more every year in the classroom that just can't sit still. And to combat that, in the past, I've just put them in the back of the room and let them stand so they're not bothering others. But I came across bouncy bands, and they're really cheap. They're $15 per desk. And when this grant came around, I figured that would be a great idea to go ahead and purchase those. And then what else can I do? So we started with the bouncy bands, and how they work is they stretch. You can either get them for a chair or the desk. Since I have like the little table desk, they're not all connected. I did the desk one, and they stretch across the bottom. They're really hard to put on, but once they're on, they're good. And I'd read reviews, though, about for older kids, they might break. So my initial plan is to buy them for all the desks, but I only bought 10 to try out. And they're very durable. They get used a lot, and they're still there, so I've ordered the rest of them. But they stretch across the desk. You can put your feet on them, and they can move. Their little feet go like this all the time, and you don't hear it, so there's no annoying toe tapping or banging their knees against the desk. And it really has seemed to help with some of the behaviors. You know how you all, well, I don't know about you all, but I feel like I was always saying, all four legs need to be on the floor, all that, or there's inevitably the child that falls out of the seat all the time. So since the bouncy bands have been in place, I've not had to say anything about four legs being on the floor one time, nor have I had a student in the floor, which did happen on different occasions prior to the bouncy band. So that's one thing I've noticed, and we're still collecting the data to kind of see before or after, but that's definitely one thing the bouncy bands have helped with. And on their website, they claim to discreetly soothe student anxiety, frustration, and hyperactivity, and it allows them to work quietly. And I have noticed all of those. When we do some small group work and they're with me, students who do tend to be more nervous, not as confident in math, I realized the other day when I would ask them directly a question, I could see their little feet move really fast because you could tell they were nervous or they were uncomfortable in answering that question. They weren't very confident. So I do feel like that has been very effective, and so we've ordered more to put on all the rest of the desks. The second phase was to have standing desks. So my original plan, because if you can see the picture on the left, standing desks were around $200 a piece. The cheapest, I think, was like $179, and then they would go up from there. So I went to my maintenance staff. We have an awesome maintenance staff at our school and asked if they could build them. I'd seen on YouTube you can build them for a whole lot cheaper than you can purchase them, and they came up with this fabulous idea. So I don't know if you can tell by the pictures, but they are actually mounted to the wall. So I lost no floor space, and my classroom is very, very tiny, and that was a big deal. So I lost no floor space at all. They're attached against the wall there. So they bought one slab of countertop. So for $75, I got 4 of those, which gave me more room in my budget to purchase some other things. And the kids want more. They love the standing desk, and one benefit from that is the rule is you cannot be at the standing desk unless you are working. And we have one student who, prior to the standing desk, did nothing. Absolutely nothing. He was not a behavior problem per se. He just turned nothing in, had to stay on him all the time to write anything or do his work. And since the standing desk, he loves that thing, and he's in there early. It's first come, first serve type of basis. He's in there early, and he has turned in all his assignments since the standing desk because he knows if he doesn't work, he has to sit back down. And so if nothing else, those were worth it for that one kid. And I have him 2 classes in a row, back to back, and he stands the whole time. So for 2 hours, he is right there, and he is working, and some of our kids need that. Some other kids are like, I don't know why anybody wants to stand up during class all day. And that's fine because they have the option to sit down. And some kids use the bouncy bands and some don't. And so that's kind of the whole process right now is they're figuring out where they learn best. They've tried out the standing. Some will try it out for about 10 minutes and realize they like to just sit. And some kids want to stand that day and some don't. So it's a very flexible option for them, and it's tended to work out really well. Our last phase is We have some kids who are super excited about the possibility of sitting on the floor. That seems very not sanitary to me, especially in a middle school room. So we have reconfigured and worked many different ways with the desks that remain, and we have found ways to get a large rug. And they were super excited because it reminded them of primary school, which cracked me up. They wanted the rug with the squares because they said that helped them know where to sit when they were in kindergarten. But then we decided on a tie-dye rug that glows in the dark. So help me on that one. But we have a large rug ordered so they can sit on the floor and the lap desk, kind of like you could put your laptop on if you've seen those. Ordered those so they would have a place to work. And then we've also got some yoga mats ordered, so those that don't want to be in a space on the rug with other people can move those off to the wall and still have that experience. And I like that idea too because that means less people clustered on a rug. And it spreads them all out and it gives them a little more opportunity. I noticed in one of my classes the other day when they realized that one kid, it just kind of clicked for some reason that he has the option to sit with the bouncy band or without or stand, and he was like, I can spread out, and this is awesome. I have all my room. So it's worked really well in our classroom so far, and we're excited to get to phase 3. And like she had mentioned before, in the spring, we'll have the data to really see if it is helping or if it isn't, and just from what I've observed so far and tracked, it really has made a difference in the focus and the effort in the classroom. Any questions? Mm-hmm.
On your rug, shoes on, shoes off.
Well, this rug is anti-stain and antimicrobial. So they're going to keep their shoes on. Unless they're dirty, and then they can take it off. Facing the board, wherever I am. Yeah. Yes. Sweet. They worked that way? Yeah. That's awesome. Did they stay? How did you attach them? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. Awesome. Yeah, and I guess parents purchase these too. So if you do just have a couple of kids, you could maybe suggest that in a parent conference if you don't want to spend your money or your administrators don't have a fabulous administrator. So he'd probably do it. Thank you for sharing. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much.